With us now is the DG in the provincial government, Lydia Sebego. Mama, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. Let's just start here. We're hearing so many, allegations being thrown around. There's also now the confirmation of the Mediosa contract, prepayments. There's complaints from Scopa saying that it doesn't look like those at the top are coming out to actually deal with the rot and the corruption that is in this province. What do you have to say to that?
Thank you very much, and greetings to the viewers. I must say that, yes, indeed, we have experienced as a province a plethora of allegations made, but I need to give substance to that. And I will start off by saying that the executive committee, the EXCO, led by Supra Mahumapelo, have made a decision right from 2014 that greed, crime and corruption should become their priority to fight. And subsequently, we have got a program that we now call Romanna Sitsokotsani 10 by 10. One of the campaigns in the 10 by 10 campaigns, it's 10 by 10 because it is 10 campaigns for 10 days. One of them is the one called Greed, Crime and Corruption. Which is our seventh campaign. Now, with respect to that, there has been an invitation going out to the members of the public, private persons, businesses, whoever, including public servants, that if there is anybody who is aware of any corruption, they must please come forward, bring the information to the law enforcement agencies to make sure that such is followed and that it can be uprooted.
Now, Mama, sorry, just to come in there, we don't have much time, I'm sorry about that. I just, I really like the point that you're raising now to say that you've got the 10 by 10, and which is, getting people to come forward. But one of the things that was very key that we saw was your HOD of health, who was not able to produce a contract between Mediosa and the provincial government, but he's still in his position, this despite even the MEC writing to the Premier saying that he needs to be suspended. Why is it taking so long when all of this was unfolding right in front of cameras?
I must say that I deny that the MEC for Health has written to the Premier to suspend the HOD. I confirm that there has been a lot about Mediosa contract on media, and issues were raised by the Portfolio Committee. The HOD has since been put on leave as recommended by the MEC to the Premier. And the Premier promptly agreed with the MEC to put the HOD on leave. I must also say that immediately after the concerns were raised, the media, this thing was all over the media, the Premier has commissioned a forensic investigation into Mediosa and other contracts within the Department of Health. We expect a preliminary report on Mediosa before the end of this week. So action has been taken. The Premier is the man of his word. He has actually acted as he has promised that he would act.
But now, some are saying that he's the common denominator here. Some are saying that he is the man that has allowed this corruption to unfold for the longest time, not only citing Mediosa, but citing also Buthelezi ambulances, also citing even the project of that game farm in Christiana, where an auctioneer charges 28.5 million rand, but 40 million rand is paid, and that is done overnight, and there is no contract, there's no paper trail to show that the auctioneer has upped the price. Are you not concerned that this is continuing unabated and the Premier is only dealing with one part of the problem and not the rot of what is going on here?
I must answer you separating the three issues. First of all, the allegation that the Premier is the common denominator is a very interesting allegation. And as he has said, it doesn't matter who is involved. If people have got facts that these things have been done by the Premier, they must please come forward. We have seen the Premier acting promptly on all matters that has to do with allegation that has been corruption that has been brought to his attention. I must say that it is interesting that whereas the Premier has delegated the responsibilities and functions, the mandate of the Department of Health to a MEC, whom he trusts in his Executive Council, today allegations are that it is the Premier who's running the department. Where does it leave the MEC to date? The MEC hasn't complained about any interference by the Premier. No, anybody has ever complained about interference by the Premier. But I also have to set the record straight with respect to procurement and how it affects public office bearers, the politicians. In terms of the PFMA, the people who deal with procurement are the accounting officers, are us, the officials. It is not the politicians. It is highly unlikely and almost impossible, because I know the person you are talking about. I know the Premier of Bongiwe Khumalo. I work with him on a daily basis. There has never been a single moment where he showed any interest in procurement. So one wonders, how would he show same in a department away from his own office?
Now, would you say that you're in control of what's going on here? Because money seems to be going in all sorts of different directions unaccounted for. Would you say you're in control as somebody who you say that is in charge of procurement?
I am in control of procurement in the office of the Premier. The different accounting officers in the form of HODs are in control insofar as their departments are concerned. Now, coming back to the allegations, I have said already that the Premier has commissioned a forensic investigation. Should the forensic investigation point at any maladministration or at any rot, as you say, we will definitely act.
Now, Ma, just before I let you go, are you saying to us that there is no truth to those that are pointing at the Premier and calling him corrupt, and even saying that he does not seem to be moving swiftly on a lot of contracts that they are now bringing to the fore?
I can stand here and say to you, yes, there is no truth, unless if those people come with proof. But from what I know, there is no proof in that. What I see happening around is a whole lot of things that one can that seems to look like some political agenda that is there against the Premier in the province. Because these things just come as political statements that are not backed by any facts, and therefore it becomes extremely difficult for anyone to say yeah or nay to these allegations. And this is why we have got forensic investigations, because the forensic investigations will definitely point us to the cause.
But SCOPA has papers. SCOPA has shown us documents that prove that there are contracts that have been done, one, without following tender processes, two, without even, the proper substantiation. That contract of 28.5 million rand that was ballooned to 40 million rand. Are you saying SCOPA is politicizing this matter and there's no truth to what SCOPA is saying?
I'm saying the matters are being politicized insofar as people are pointing fingers at the Premier. Because I'm sure the documents that you have been shown do not have Supra Mahumapelo's signature on them. If they had, then the figures would be correct. But I'm saying this is political. Because if, as an accounting officer, I go out and I contract without following SCM processes, and then that get called by the name of the Premier, that is grossly unfair. Let me talk to the Christiana. The Christiana issue was the hotel was bought on an auction. Me and you understand that when there is an auction, people bid, and the owner would take the highest bidder. I am not sure of the documents that you say you have that shows that this was done overnight. I was sitting at the portfolio committee when those allegations were made, but no documents were shown to us. So I still have to see those documents so that I can convince myself that indeed there was somebody who ballooned them. At all material times, when these allegations are made, we are going to investigate, and there is a lot of forensic investigations happening in the province. We have engaged the SIU, as you are aware, is now investigating at the Department of Public Works and Roads, and that was by the Premier himself. The initiative was by the Premier himself. He has called a meeting with them. He has committed to work with the Hawks. Anybody, any law enforcement agency that comes to the province, we shall cooperate so that we get to the bottom of these things. Because at the end of the day, an investigation is the establishment of the truth. And until the truth is established, we cannot then take everything that anybody say to be the truth.
Well, thank you so much, Mama, for taking the time to talk to us. Jeremy, you've heard for yourself the DG saying that these are merely facts. These are merely speculation. They're not facts. And until somebody is able to provide proof, they are not going to take them seriously. For this is just political talk. But of course, Jeremy, you heard when I spoke to some of the SCOPA officials, they say that this is not just, mere talk. These are serious, facts that they bring to the table because they've got the documentation. But of course, as officials here try to make sense of what is going on, and with various forensic investigations that are currently underway, it remains to be seen just what kind of results they're going to produce.